Good morning, students. Let's start our new chapter, A Treat for Mosquitoes. Blood test. Rajat is back at school today. He had been absent for many days. How are you now? Asked Artie. I am all right, Rajat replied softly. Now, this is a story of some students of schools, and there was a small boy whose name was Rajat. He was absent for many days, and his friend Artie asked to him, "How are you now?" And he replied very softly way, "I am okay." Means I am all right. Jaskirat, you must have played a lot while you were at home. Rajat, who wants to play when you have fever? On top of it, I had to take a bitter medicine. I even had a blood test. And again, one of his friends said, um, Jaskirat said, uh, you must have played a lot when you were absent, when you were at home. But Rajat said, who wants to play? Those who have fever. And top of it, he was taking a bitter medicines. He had a blood test also. Jaskirat, a blood test? Why? It must have been very painful. Rajat, actually, when the needle pricked my finger, it felt like an ant bite. They took 2 or 3 drops of blood and sent it for testing. That's how we came to know that I had malaria. Now, again, his friend said, a blood test means for them it is very shocking. They were thinking that Rajat was absent and he was at home only. So they are very shocked. A blood test, and she said it must be very painful. And Rajat explained to her, actually when the needle pricked his finger, it felt like an ant bite. Only 2 or 3 drops of blood, and they took for testing. That's how we came to know that I had a malaria. Nancy, but you get malaria when a mosquito bites you. Rajat, yes, but we find out by the blood test. Nancy said, okay, you get malaria when a mosquito bites you. And he said, yes. Due to blood test, he came to know that he had malaria. Jaskirat, there are a lot of mosquitoes in my house these days, but I did not get malaria. Nancy, who says that every mosquito bite causes malaria? Malaria spreads only by the disease carrying mosquitoes. RD, all right? Sorry, all mosquitoes look the same to me. Rajat, there must be some difference. So, Nancy interrupted to Jaskirat, and she says, who says that every mosquito bites causes malaria? There are different mosquitoes. Only malaria spreads by the disease carrying mosquitoes. And Artie, in the meantime, Artie says, for me to all mosquitoes are same. And Rajat said, no, there must be some difference. Nancy, Did they take the blood from the place where the mosquito had bitten you? Rajat: Of course not. How do I know when and where the mosquito bite me? Nancy: But how could they find out that you had malaria by your blood test? Do you think they could see something in the blood? Nancy said, "Did you take the blood? Did they take the blood from the place where the mosquito had bitten you?" But he said, "No. How can I know when and where the mosquito bite me?" And Nancy said that how can they know that you have a malaria? Do they know? Do they see there's something in the blood? So here we'll find out, do you know anyone who has had malaria? How did they find out that they had malaria? What problems did they have on having malaria? What other disease can be caused by mosquito bites? In which season is malaria more common? Why do you think this happens? What do you do in your house to protect yourself from mosquitoes? Also find out from your friends about what they do. So this is find out how people have malaria. Now we'll see anemia. What's that? RT. I also had to get a blood test done, but they took a syringe full of blood. The blood test showed that I had anemia. Rajat. What is that? Now here the students, they are discussion about anemia. Now we'll see here RT said even she went to hospitals and that there she had done a blood test also, and they took a full of blood by syringe. That blood showed that she had a malaria. And Rajat said, "What is that?" So RT explained to him. RT, the doctor said that there is less hemoglobin or iron in the blood. The doctor gave some medicine to me strength. He also said that I should eat jaggery, amla, and more green leafy vegetables because of this have irons. So Nancy here says, how can there be iron in our blood? Jaskirat, there was something about this in the newspaper yesterday. Rajat laughing. So, do you eat iron or what? And here RT says, now RT again explained to them, silly, this is not the iron used to make these keys. I don't know exactly what it was after I ate a lot of vegetables and whatever the doctor had said, my hemoglobin went up. So this is the story of RT, Rajat, Nancy. So students will see the textbooks question and answer. Do you know anyone who has had malaria? So here, yes, one of my friend once suffered from malaria. How did they find out that they had malaria? It was found by blood test. What problems did they have on having malaria? My friend suffered from high fever. The fever came with bouts of shivering. He became very weak. What other disease can be caused by mosquito bites? Following are some other disease which can be caused by mosquito bites: dengue, chikungunya, filaria. In which season is malaria more common? Why do you think this is happens? Malaria is more common in rainy season. Mosquitoes get suitable environment to breathe during the rainy seasons, and hence there are more causes of malaria. So students, this is your question and answer. You have to copy from here. Thank you.